You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
For lack of a better word, it's good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I'm falling, and I can't get up.
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps, the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. Hope that all the great moms yesterday had a great Mother's Day. As you can see in the environment that we're in right now, things are starting to loosen up a little bit. I guess the big concern is the potential of a spike happening. I guess they'll manage it best they can. At the end of the day, when businesses are shut down, they can't. You have, and this is where you have to look at the logic here. There's certain types of businesses where you can have telecommuting. Certain businesses you cannot. That's the reality of it. With the restaurant industry, you can implement curbside delivery or delivery itself and things of that nature. I think that a lot of small restaurants are just ill prepared for the next generation of how a restaurant needs to work in order for them to maximize their revenue potential. Fast food restaurants have been doing it, like Burger King, McDonald's. They've been doing it forever, and I'm sure that they're not doing too badly. I see the lines, whether it be a Chick-fil-A or whether it be a Burger King or whatever, McDonald's. You see the lines that are long. Everybody's in their cars. They're going to the drive-thru and they're getting what they need to get. So I don't think that those franchises are suffering too much right now, which, for smaller restaurants, it's a little more difficult for them to do that, but they have to find a path. Utilizing technology becomes helpful. And we'll see as things open up. I know Georgia started opening up. Other states are opening up little by little. Florida's opening up a bit. I think it's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be, try and learn. And if it doesn't work, you try something else. But they have to do things to keep business going. Because you have a lot of small business owners that are teetering from going out of business because of this. And, it wasn't anything that they did. It's just circumstance, what transpired. Pandemic. So, let's, I guess it'll be a wait and see. But again, as I mentioned on previous shows, technology plays a big role in this. And you're going to see a lot of changes in retail and whether it be restaurants, whether it be regular retail, people are going to buy a container of milk or whatever they're going to buy from your local store. There's going to be an increase in contactless payments. So an Apple Pay, Google Pay, things of that nature will come into play. I'm sure that PayPal, they have something that's rolling out. It is funny that you have like the gas stations like Mobile and things of that nature. They've embraced this a long time ago because it's easier. Just take your little card and boom, and there you go. So you're going to see a lot more of that. The biggest issue with that is security. The end-to-end encryption, you're gonna have fintech companies that are gonna come out and they're gonna have to create, and they will create, more secure systems, a more secure way to have these the contactless payments set up, so that it would avoid or prevent as much fraud as possible. Digital payments. Again, that's going to be big, and you're going to have companies that are coming out with the next generation of things. The thing that I do say is in that realm. When you're talking about, financial, fintech, the companies that are doing this, like the newer kids on the block, they perform, pretty well, as long as the security protocols are in place and they're utilizing next generation technology. You'll have a lot more of that taking place. And again, this is the future of things. You can't, everything's changed. It's not something that can roll back, and that's something else that you gotta, take into consideration. You have things have changed. How they deal with things, how businesses are run, how things are looked at, and these things aren't that simple to roll back. That's why with Google and Apple implementing their distancing protocols on their devices, that's something that won't roll back that quickly, and that brings into account the privacy issues, and that's an issue that should be addressed, because Google and Apple, Apple is more protective of their users' data. Google, they have a lot of data, and this right here, granted, they know where you are. If you have your GPS on, they know where you are at any given time, but this is just more of a prominent thing, because now they know, they can just, I guess, track you, or if someone wanted to, they can utilize their system to track you, I guess. There are different things there that should be addressed. I have my own opinions on it. I'm a big advocate of privacy, of data. You have to, a person's personal data should be heavily secured. They utilize it to market to you and everything, to try to make things better. I get it. They make money doing it. That's their business model. I get it. But when you're talking about surveillance, when you're talking about things of that nature, there should be more security, because everybody's worried about, Big Brother watching. There are ways that that can be mitigated a little bit, I think. But on top of the food chain, with the government basically utilizing these systems for whatever they want to utilize it for. Make no mistake, they have this stuff now. They don't need somebody on the outside to do it. As far as, it comes down to them letting people know that they have it. And that's something that they're not willing to do, I guess. But, people know that, things like that are out there. Okay, but now going back to the social distancing situation, the reality is that, there are protection of data. There are systems out there that have these systems in place, and not so much on your phone, but using CCTV cameras, facial recognition minus the facial recognition. There are systems in place right now that can be used right now, and these are things that, just for full disclosure, Megahoot is something that we're intimately involved with, and there are systems in place that allow for a small business to actually comply with whatever protocols are in place for social distancing, and have proof of this. This is going to save them the heartache of getting a big fine if somebody should complain. And I've seen that take place. I've heard stories of businesses, even individuals. You get they say that, hey, you're not practicing social distancing in your establishment, so on and so forth, and then you can get a fine, you can get your license yanked if you're things of that nature. So these protocols are going to be in place, and then they're not going to roll back that easily. So these small businesses, look, they've been suffering. They need a cost-effective way to do this, and this is something that Megahoot is doing, and we're doing it for pennies pretty much. With no monthly charges or anything of that nature, so I would say that, any small businesses, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be, you don't have to be in the U.S. You can be anywhere in the world. And if you look, you have CCTV cameras set up in your establishment, for very, very extremely low one-time fee of setup fee, you'll have the ability to be in compliance with social distancing guidelines in your establishment. And that's important. You can go to megahoot.com to find out more about that. I needed to say that because it is important. And these are things that companies are doing. And with that, just for further disclosure, privacy is at the forefront. There's no personal data collection in this system. Okay, and it's pretty much a base model SaaS system that would allow someone to go and a business to go and utilize it and be in compliance and protect their business, and it's connected to the security camera. So there are other things that can be implemented later on that are cost effective to the businesses. So moving forward from that, cybersecurity, that's going to be more critical as we move forward. And I mentioned that with fintech and what's going to be happening. End-to-end encryption, cybersecurity is going to be more prevalent. It's going to be more critical. You're going to have more businesses doing digital transactions. You're going to have more businesses just online. You're going to have a lot of virtual things going on, whether it be a Zoom or a Microsoft or whoever is going to be doing this. Megahoot as well is actually rolling out something very soon that's going to be highly effective, and the end-to-end encryption is pretty high, so it protects people's data and so on and so forth, and that privacy is so important. And I'm a big advocate of it, and Megahoot is a big advocate of it as well. So cybersecurity, you have to look at the companies out there that are leaders with next generation systems, not old systems that kind of lock you into a thing for the rest of your days. Next generation systems that you can understand, that can actually go and protect your systems better for the next generation attacks that will occur, and trust me, they will. Social media platforms, whether you have like Facebook and their Messenger, and other, Google, they're going to take center stage, and I'm going to tell you why. You're going to have more and more companies embracing telecommuting because they're beginning to realize that, guess what? We don't have to have these many people in the office. We don't have to have these many people here, that we can do things remotely. You see, even SNL has a quarantine show. Of course, that's something different. You have to get together, but it just tells you that the possibilities are there, and this is a spigot that opened up, and it's not going to close. And more companies are going to be looking at their capex. They're going to be looking at their capital expenditures. They're going to look at what is costing them to do this and that. What's it costing them to have office space? Okay, the commercial real estate market, especially the office sector, they're going to take a hit, kinda. And I say that because you're going to have certain things, certain protocols in place that are state mandated or federally mandated or city mandated, that you're going to have a desk X amount of feet away from the next desk. And you're talking about the perimeter of your desk. So you'll have someone maybe 4 to 6 feet in front of you, to the side of you, behind you, that type of thing. Okay. And what that does, that kind of cuts your the capacity of what you can use. If you're used to having 100 people in an office, that's going to probably get reduced to 25. And then you think about it. I mean, they begin to think about it. Do you need all these people? You have companies like AutoNation. They laid off about 7,000 employees. They furloughed them. Okay, and they're beginning to realize, and they cut their capex and everything else, and they're beginning to realize that, hey, we have a lot of excess fat, and we don't need it. You have a lot of companies out there that are seeing this now. okay, that that they don't need it. You have like Facebook. I think Facebook, about 80 and 90% of their people are home working and they're functioning. Okay, I'm sure Google as well. In certain industries, certain businesses, you can do that, and it's more effective. You don't need to be side by side with someone. And I mentioned on one of the other shows, the previous shows, that when you have people, a worker, an employee that is, let's say they're married, they have a couple of small kids, and they're leaving home at 7 o'clock every morning or earlier to go to work. They're missing their kids going to school. They're missing family time. They come home 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. They're missing a lot of stuff. So what this is doing, it's actually promoting a better quality of life, family life. I see more kids with their parents walking with their kids, riding bikes and going on scooters and walking their dogs and doing all this stuff. And this is the stuff that's happening now. And this is and it gives me a good feeling when I see that, because you're talking about the promoting of family life, okay, where you have quality time with your kids, and this is important when they grow up, so they get to they get the most of you that they can. Years for many years, you have single parents raising their kids and so on and so forth. They don't have that time, or even a married couple, they're working hard to pay the bills, so they don't have the time to carve out that they would like to. So that's one of the good things that are coming out of this. Okay, we're beginning to realize what life is all about, and how you can still conduct your business. You can still build and grow. You don't need to be directly in front of someone to actually do this physically. You can be there virtually, and there are going to be a lot of other things that are going to, you're talking about next generation stuff. Watch out, it's coming. I'm telling you, you're going to have hologram meetings and so on and so forth. We've seen this in movies, and if the mind can conceive it, then man can achieve it. And we've seen that with everything from going to the moon to the car to everything and anything. I think that the next generation of how the office life is coming. It's here. And then when they start rolling things out and loosening up the restrictions, I believe that we're going to have a substantial change. And I don't care. You have companies out there, commercial real estate firms. Of course, they're not going to say, "Hey, this is going to hurt us," but it is going to hurt you. It's going to hurt them. You're going to have REITs that are going to start, that are stuck in ancient times. With dealing with how their businesses run, and they're going to start reducing dividends. They're going to have to, because they're going to start, losing money. You're not getting the rent roll in. You're going to have a problem. Okay, so that's something there, and then you're going to see, in my opinion, you're going to see commercial real estate prices coming down, and that's going to be another blow. Okay, on the commercial real estate front, retail and office, they're going to get hurt. What's going to work are the storage facilities, because people have to store things, right? So that those type of REITs will be okay. And then also the type of REITs that are going to actually work are the ones that are looking beyond just, hey, we have a portfolio and we've monetize it a certain way. You have to do more than monetization. You have to go and think outside the box. You have to bring something to the table that brings value. And I'm going to talk more about that, at a later date. But you need things that bring value. So you can go and continue to increase the value of your properties, increase the value of the REIT, and make investors happy. And that's what you have to do when it comes to a REIT. Okay, so going back to social media, you like Facebook, they have their messenger, and they just rolled out the video chatting type of thing, which is pretty cool. But again, the security protocols on that is always a concern. Okay, so, but just keep an eye on these companies, as they're going to become more dominant and prominent as the as we go into an AD phase. That's the well, actually AC. Sorry, not AD. AC. Okay, that's the after COVID-19 phase. Okay, granted, it's not going away anytime soon, but there's going to be there'll be protocols in place that it's gonna change our lives, just like TV changed our lives and the internet changed our lives. This is another life-changing situation. And one other thing that is going to become, in the companies that are involved in this, you want to take a look at whether they're private or public. The companies that are involved in artificial intelligence, and not just artificial intelligence, you can be involved in AI and be focused on a specific thing, but you're talking about artificial intelligence that's crossing over with other technology. Okay, and when you have a company like that, the growth potential is ridiculous. The value is ridiculous. The people that lead the company, you have to see who's running the company. But if they have the plan of action in place, and they have the platforms in place, and they have certain things in place that you wouldn't think that would be so prominent when you're dealing with artificial intelligence. But if you're dealing in AI and you see there's something more to it than just a biometrics platform or something of that nature, you need something a little more. You need more because artificial intelligence is evolving, and it'll continue to evolve every month. A few months ago, I would say, in the next few years, no, every month you're going to see an evolution because it's here. It's here faster than I thought, but it's here. And the companies that are ramping up, that are building up, that are coming up with the new ideas, these are the companies you want to kind of look into. If they're public, you may want to invest in them. If they're private, if you can invest in them, you may want to. So you have to take a look at that stuff. Okay, and and I wanted to touch on this as well because this is a big thing with everything opening up now. Okay, little by little they're rolling out the opening phase one. I guess each state has a different timeline when they're going to open up gyms and other recreational facilities. I think that you have gyms that are out there, and how the gyms are going to change. I just find that I don't know how, and I feel bad for these people that because some of them, they just have one or two gyms and that's their livelihood. Okay, you have the big franchises, that have they've hit a brick wall. At Gold's Gym, they filed for bankruptcy and protection, and they shut down 30 of their corporate gyms, their company stores, so their company gyms. Okay, so that industry is going to take a hit. What I don't agree with is you have these gyms like a 24-hour fitness that will sit there and continue to charge you even though they're closed. Okay, even though they're closed and you can't go there, they're still charging you. All right, on the front end, and it's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. But the smaller gyms, when they open back up, or even any gym, how you work out as an individual as you're going to the gym, it's going to change. They may have to go and allow you in the gym for a certain amount of time. Maybe every person gets an hour, and you have to be X amount away from someone else, and you have to have a mask on to work out. That has to be kind of difficult, So I don't know. Again, I don't know how they're going to do it, how this is all going to work out. But it's going to be a challenge. There's no question there's going to be a challenge. And you're going to have more people working out at home because they're learning how to do that. And if they're doing more of that, what's going to happen is that you're going to have lower memberships at these commercial gyms. Okay, and this is when things change. And that's when you're going to have, possibly a consolidation or a minimizing of a lot of these gyms out there. One gym that... you have a couple of gym franchises that I think that will always do well, because they really put an emphasis on protecting their clientele, especially now. And Powerhouse is one of those brands. Powerhouse is a franchise that as long as I've known them, from corporate to the franchisees, they've always done a magnificent job of keeping the places, immaculate. They keep them clean. They take care of the machines, and now more so now, they're doing a lot. They're doing a lot to make that happen. So when things open up, a gym like that, you're going to want to join, because I'm sure they're going to have the protocols in place. That'll be there to guide you, and so you get everyone can get back into fitness and stuff like that. But you know what? If you're doing stuff outside too, running and doing that type of stuff, hey, that's a good thing too. And a lot of these places, the powerhouse gyms, they incorporate that into their facilities, which is pretty cool. All right. Anyway, so I think I touched on everything I want to touch on this Monday. Just look at, again, companies that are involved in the contactless payment platforms, digital payments. These are companies that look at cybersecurity. I'm talking next generation, not that old rinky-dinky stuff. Next generation that can fight the next generation of attacks that are going to happen. Social media platforms that are embracing tomorrow. Okay, not just setting up systems to go and say, hey, go and post a picture and have that type of thing, but communication, collaboration, that type of thing. You want to look at them, and AI, as I said, the AI companies that I would be looking at are the ones that have more to it than just an AI platform. There has to be more. There has to be crossover into other things, okay, for the next generation of things, because if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be prepared for what's going to happen later. All right, that's it for this Monday. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and week, but I'm sure I'll be back with you before the week is out. Okay, you enjoy, and thank you for listening to Money Never Sleeps.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio in your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Louis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Louis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.